and salutations, fellow imbibers of Josta. It is I. What?
One hopes.
It is I, Eric J. Chucky. Joined as always by... Have you ever had Josta?
No.
Oh my god. The depraved.
Hey.
It's the boy. I have to say your name because otherwise they won't know who you are.
No,
it doesn't
clearly.
matter.
No.
Like, I mean, you guys...
We're two voices
like,
on the internet.
Yeah. It's... How do you describe us? Let us know in the comments. How do you... When you, like... If you don't think of us as our people, as our names, is it like...
The one with the nice voice and the one with the nasal voice is how I think of us.
Oh, look at Mister. I got a nice voice.
Yes, of course, that's what I mean.
Welcome to the Turner's Podcast. You know what you could do if you were cool? Buy my book. Any of them. You have 5 to choose from. I would recommend the 5th. Second recommendation, the 1st, and then the rest from there. But, like, you do you. If you just want to pick up number 3 and be like, fuck it, let's find out what's going on.
Do that.
It's not a bad idea. It's $10, man. Everyone keeps telling me I'm not charging enough for the books. Like, I have gotten that from different fucking people several times since the 5th book is released. Okay. So, if someone bought my book, read my book, and went, I didn't pay enough money for this, what does that tell you? That tells you you can go to the Patreon and give me more money there.
Like Rob, who we shout out because he does that.
Yeah. Once the list gets too long, we'll probably have to have one of those YouTuber clip show things at the end where just a bunch of fucking names scroll past. But...
Names Beelzebub the Gimp, Jaxo Winnings.
Oh, Beelzebub the Gimp would never support me. I'm not worthy. We're talking Marvel villains. Probably should pull up the list of Marvel villains.
This is all of them, so it'll be here a while.
Yeah,
Number
Jesus
1.
Christmas.
No, we're doing our top 5s. We've been breaking them down all year. The end of the year, we'll look back and make a new top 10 list. It's based on a year-long project. We just recorded one of these, so I'm not doing the whole thing again.
You know what? You can go back and re-listen to that intro. And I think last time I forgot to tell you to hit like, subscribe, and comment. If you hit like and comment, that's better for the algorithm, at least at the moment, than just liking. So please do both.
Tell us one of your favorite Marvel villains in the comments.
I mean, this seems fucking obvious. Give us your top 5s. Go back in the other videos and give us your top 5s. I will read them. I will like them.
I will like them.
I might do the little heart too, unless you're like really racist or something in the comment. Don't do that.
We'll be deleting that comment. We don't need them that badly.
Against your life. If you
Controversy creates cash, says White Raven.
Eric Bischoff made WCW happen. That's all I'm saying. Shit didn't get fucked up till Vince Russo showed up.
Ain't that the fucking... Nope.
You alright?
Vince Russo showed up.
Start working.
Start working.
Fucking A.
So, you went first last time. I'll go first this time.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
We're talking about bad guys.
We're talking about Marvel villains, not at least mostly not related to the X-Men. They're their own thing, so we split them off into their own list. My number 5 is the Shocker. Fucking Herman Schultz. That's right. In all of Marvel, in all of the Marvel villains, my 5th favorite, and this is not a joke, I'm not being ironic, my genuine 5th favorite is Herman Schultz. I just fucking love him, dude. I love the dogged contender. Like, he's a Dark Souls protagonist, and Spider-Man's the boss he cannot beat. He's doing his best, he's dodge rolling, he's fucking looked up the strats on the wiki, and every time he gets sent back to the fucking bonfire with his tail between his legs, but he keeps trying, whilst this boss is unrepentantly shit-talking him. I love that. I'm a very big fan of some very niche versions of the Shocker that I'm not going to get into here, but that wasn't a sex joke. It's just a very old fanfic that I like a lot. But anyway, Herman is. I think I nailed it in the first sentence. He's a dogged contender. He's not the most threatening Spider-Man villain. He's just fucking still here. And occasionally he gets one up on him.
I am usually there's one of two situations that happens here when we do these. Well, one of three. When we do these videos, we talk about a character and we share the opinion, but they're later on our list, so we keep kind of quiet. We both talk about the character because they're not on our list, but we both love them.
Right.
Or version 3, which is just now, and you with Ragman. Okay.
I
don't hate him.
I love his dumb name. He doesn't do electricity at all as vibrations. I love that he's a very talented scientist, and like Sauron before him, he doesn't want to patent his creations. He wants to rob banks. I love
Brilliant
everything.
mind, lack of forethought.
I love everything about the guy. He's a shit. Who's your number 5?
My number 5 is Black Mariah, mostly from the Netflix series. Although I have to imagine after the success, her character in the comics is a lot more like that.
They're very different, so I don't know how naturally they could make that transition.
Well, what was she really around in recent comics?
No,
like,
not
Luke
much.
Cage villains kind of fell off. Regardless, that performance...
Oh, I fucking absolutely A+, top tier.
She's not a supervillain. She is the equivalent, the Marvel equivalent to Amanda Waller, except fucking evil and not just like a
Hard,
force.
yeah.
Like I love it. She's so manipulative and so dastardly, and she will stoop to any low to get what she wants.
Yeah, she's an asshole with no bottom floor.
And she gets shit done, is the better part of it. She accomplishes so much with her swing and her sway. Just what a well-presented character. And, I mean, like, okay, we're talking about the breadth of the Marvel Universe, minus some X-Men villains, which, again, as I said in the last Marvel podcast, I had a hard time picking my X-Men villains just because I got to the Met Zone.
I don't think I will. I like X-Men villains.
I mean, like, it was like, good. But anyway, I got 5 top spots, and one of them is going to a lady who I watched on a couple of seasons of a show on Netflix.
Spoilers for the last podcast. My number 1 slot is, at the very least, mostly based on one performance, although in this case over several movies, but honestly about the same amount of screen time.
Maybe.
Like... a good performance will really make or break a character you're otherwise neutral towards.
And it's so well written, and she is... Spoilers for Luke Cage? I will be kind of oblique about them. The biggest fish. If we're talking Qui-Gon Jinn logic.
Yeah, or at the very least, she intends to be.
And she gets pretty far. Yeah, that's my number 5.
That's absolutely fair. This is the part where you asked me about the next one.
Oh god, hold on. Let me put on my spectacles here. I'm doing the pantomime, even though you guys can't
this is an
fucking
audio
see me.
medium. He's doing a little bit. It's great.
The Boy.
Yeah.
What is your number... What's the one that's like a weird piece of pizza with extra parts?
Threve.
What is your number 3?
It's Doc Ock. Again, I love Alfred Molina, but that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Doc Ock from the comics, Doc Ock from the 90s cartoon show, and the Doc Ock who spent a while possessing Spider-Man.
I like that Doc Ock a lot.
Not amazing. Superior. Doc Ock, chef kiss. He's, again, just a fucking unrepentant dickhead. He's a tiny man with a humongous ego who will defeat Spider-Man and could make so much more money and be so much happier if he just stopped doing evil schemes and started doing regular science. But that's not what he wants to do. He wants to do evil schemes. And I love that about him. I love the 90s cartoon show version with his fucking goofy bowl haircut and his big fucking opaque ass sunglasses. I love most versions of Doc Ock's tentacles. They are grand. They're a grand tool
they're
for
a
villainous
really,
menacement.
Yeah, that's a really inspired villain weapon. You can get a lot done with that.
Yeah, it makes for cool scenes, and it gives him the ability to do cool shit. And it gives him the ability to match Spider-Man in a lot of ways, whilst doing it in a very different way. Evil scientists, you will find, have a special place in my heart in the Marvel universe.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Okay.
But Doc Ock is special because, one, he's German. And, like, very German, too.
Yeah,
the best versions of him are audibly German, even when it's a comic panel.
Yeah.
You know what? I can't say it better than that.
He does look like a happy little boy who loves a good beer and bratwurst.
But also crushing Spider-Man.
I like, he's fine.
This is that second thing again. Who's your number 3?
We didn't do my number 4. We didn't do my number pizza.
That's
my
right.
3.
Your 3. I'm sorry. Yes.
Jesus Christmas.
I just didn't finish the word. You let me finish. Who's your number 3?
I'm so sorry. My number 4 is Loki. And what a great day for me as I'm recording this on Wednesday, June 9th. How do you... What the fuck? Why? You're here.
No. Explain to the audience who Loki is.
Green Wet Thor.
Oh, God. No, alright, should I just go to my number 3?
One of my favorite fables is the Scorpion and the Frog. I find it applies to life a lot. And, look it up. I'm not going to retell the thing here.
Oh, but you gotta.
Nah, because I won't do it as well. It's me, I'm meandering, and I'm like, I'll Jeff Goldblum the fuck out of it. It won't be very good.
If I may.
Alright, go for it.
Along the banks of a river, there is a scorpion, and the scorpion wants to get across the river. A frog comes up, and he's about to cross the river on his own. And the scorpion says to the frog, "Hey, frog, will you please take me across the river? I need to get to the other side of it to continue on my journey." And the frog says to the scorpion, "No, I will not help you, Scorpion. I've met you before. You'll sting me." And Scorpion says, "Why would I sting you? I would be a fool. It would be insane. We would both die. You would die from my sting, and I, in the middle of the river, would drown. I can't swim." And Frog, understanding that this is very logical and correct, goes, "Well, fine then, Scorpion, hop on my back. I will take you across the river." And then when they're halfway across the river, Scorpion stings Frog on the back, and as Frog is curling in death and Scorpion is starting to drown, Frog looks at Scorpion and goes, Why? You knew you would drown." And Scorpion looks at Frog and goes, "It's in my nature."
Remember that one time Loki turned into a snake and he'd hid out in plain sight and Thor found him and
Because he loves snakes.
Because he loves snakes, he went over to talk to him, but then he turned back into Loki and stabbed him.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You love a villain who cannot help but be an asshole.
He is my favorite smug snake, I think. He's... And I like the fact that he's so honestly, despite his ridiculous powers, because what can't Loki do?
He has magic and ice powers, and he can turn into a giant sometimes.
And he's got a cool knife.
And he's like 1,000, and...
knows a lot of stuff.
And again, I can't overstate magic.
Has access to Josta now, I guess.
Good for him.
I'm jealous.
I've never had the pleasure of that or magic. Now he has 2 things over me. I am also a 1,000-year-old ice giant.
He got that horn hat, though.
Oh, damn it! That's 3!
I like his clones. Loki's clones, when you get to play them in a video game or something, they're so fun to mess with.
They always feel so good.
Yeah. And I like his character. I like him going back and forth. I mean, when you're that old, he gets vampire rules. He's like, you know what, I'm a good guy this decade. Whatever.
Yeah, there was a...
I feel kind of bad about all those times I've stabbed Thor. What are you trying to do, Thor? I'll help. And Thor's like, no.
No, you probably won't. Nah, I'm feeling it today. I'm feeling myself. I want to be a good guy.
All right, but the last time you did this, you just stabbed me.
Well, no, this time
You
it's
said
cool.
everything, this conversation is exactly the same, and then you stabbed me.
It'll be different this time. I'm really feeling like I want to turn over a new leaf.
All right, I'll trust you because you're...
Yeah!
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Yeah, he's Starscream.
God, and I do love Starscream.
He's about a 10.0 on the Starscream scale. Yeah.
He's just fucking. We just killed 5 minutes talking about Loki that we didn't need to because he's Loki, and you know who he is if you're watching this video, and he's good. Who's your number 3?
Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. This one, I tried not to stack too much from one property, but he's also a Daredevil villain, so it doesn't count. He's Lex Luthor, but swole as fuck. Lex Luthor decided the power suits were for losers and decided to just start lifting, bro. He's... he is a violent psychopath with just the thinnest veneer of social acceptability and high status. He's an angry gorilla in an Armani suit. I love that about him. I love that he is at all times barely contained rage, ready to smash and destroy and kill anything in his way. But he's still a canny thinker. He's still someone who makes incredibly, sometimes unnecessarily complex plans and outmaneuvers people who should, by all rights, completely trounce him in every encounter and walks away with wins so often. Not because he is a violent brute, but because he's above that. He's the good version of Gorilla Grodd.
What if Moriarty was a brick?
Yeah, what if Moriarty was a brick? What if Lex Luthor knew how weights worked? What if you could keep doing this? He is just an evil mastermind who, instead of being thin and reedy and easily defeated by the hero, when it comes time to I've defeated you now, Fisk, and I shall punch you in the face. Your face hits him and then stops, and then he grins and goes, "Oh, I don't think you know how this is going to end for you," and then he fucking annihilates you. That's good. That is a good, threatening villain.
Yeah, he's a quality villain. I will agree with that. The more I learn about Kingpin's presence in the comics and stuff, because I grew up with like cartoon and video game Kingpin, where he's just a big fat guy and he's like, "Oh, I like to yell and snacks." But like the serious Kingpin, the good Kingpin.
That good Kingpin, though.
Yeah, he's very, very compelling character. We would be remiss if we didn't mention the Vincent D'Onofrio portrayal in the Daredevil series.
It's nigh on perfect.
Yeah. I mean,
I can't think.
Good luck casting another Kingpin.
I can't think of a way you would improve that version,
Yeah.
that Kingpin. I cannot think of a way you would improve it.
Right down to the sociopath relationship he's trying to form.
Yeah, he's trying to be better, and at the end, he forms an actual emotional connection, and it undoes him. Because he doesn't know how to deal with it. Because he's never done that before.
It's beautiful. It's... My God, the Netflix series were good.
They were better than they had any right to be, and they got taken out behind the woodshed and murked.
Netflix got petty. Disney was like, "No, you can keep doing stuff," and they were like, I'm not making you money. Goodbye, series.
No, you ain't gonna let me keep this stuff? I'm not making you more money. Get out. Disney was like, I mean, we're not gonna... All right, fine. We'll just take our characters back and go make shit that'll make money off them ourselves. Oh, no. More money for me.
Is what it is.
Yup. Who is your number 3?
My number 3 is on my desk.
He is.
Over here in the boyfriend catalog. The
Yep.
Hall of Fame. My number 3 is Ultron. I will admit this is mostly inspired by the MCU, but I have been doing a lot of digging and research into Ultron in the comic books, and there's a lot to enjoy there too. I like him because he's right. Like, he's going about it the wrong way. Like, that's not good. Captain America needs to punch you in your turkey robot neck.
being right goes a long way.
Yeah. And, like, he's a monster about it, but I also like that he's got character. Usually your villains who are, like, you know...
Big evil robots.
Yeah, big evil robots are really, you know, booming voice, loud noises, you know, or robotic tone. He's, especially in the MCU, but also elsewhere, smooth. He's jovial. He's colloquial. He's
a person, not a rogue AI.
Right.
He's not my math has come up that Earth would be 0.3% more efficient without humanity, therefore humanity must go. No, there's some personal trauma and bitterness that is a part of it.
I've downloaded the entire internet, and I'm
you know
upset.
what? I'm gonna do the thing that you would logically do if you looked at all of the internet at once.
Also, my dad is Tony Stark, and or Hank Pym, which in the comics, not much better.
Much worse. Much worse.
Depends on your Tony.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to, like, I mean, like, it's like, why do you like Darth Vader, you know? And we can get into the details, the depth of, like, why is he so cool? And maybe we will. But it's, look at him. Watch him. Listen to him. What a commanding character. And he's got his little Ultron dudes. His you know, the non-primes that he controls and can jump in between. That's so fucking cool.
He's Legion.
He's Legion, yeah.
But he's Legion written to have snarky dialogue and be sort of a cool guy about stuff.
I mean, like, okay, so take Loki. Everything I liked about Loki. He's got clones. He does the mischief. He's full of himself.
And make him a robot with that dumpy, with that cake in the back, though.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but you're welcome to Google image search that shit. But, like, take him and make all of those clones guys, dudes.
Instead of illusions, just other slightly lesser robots that you have to punch.
Take Loki's, you know, I feel like taking over the world today, and have it be Ultron going, no, I've seen what you cheer for.
Yeah, Ultron has big Rick vibes. He doesn't care if you boo. He has, in fact, seen what makes you cheer.
He's just... It's cool. And I love that the MCU in its entirety, you know, in the story that led to Infinity War and Endgame, Ultron was right. You corrupt one person, her, she'll take them all down.
Yep.
And, gosh, that's only getting worse.
Good instincts, that robot boy.
Yes.
It's almost like he was also a product of the Mind Stone and could maybe figure some shit out.
Maybe. The things we learn about good old Mr. Ultron. Hey, out of curiosity, who's your number 2?
Ultron. For me, it's as much the MCU version, who I love. James Spader's performance is fucking all-time classic. And comics. Because he's...
Cape.
It is partly the cape.
I wish they'd done that in the movie. If he was like, yes, my ultimate body. Give him a little cape. I want a cape. It looks good.
There was that one scene where he kind of had a cape.
Yeah, kind of.
That was their one little nod, and I appreciated it. No, he's just... he has the same... It's to a different person. It's to Henry Pym. But he has the same motivation. Ultimately, he's just really fucking mad at his dad and thinks that he can do better. And he has no morals, so he's willing to do anything to prove that his dad was wrong.
One of my favorite times with Ultron was the Hank Pym Ultron, who was like wackadoo and went off to live on his own because he had a lot of shit he was trying to deal with.
Right.
Just because he was so divorced from reality, but still Ultron.
Still, at the end of the day, he's a big evil robot who wants to take over the world. I don't know. There's just something that resonates there. We said a lot about him already, though, so...
Yeah, it's weird that it ping-pongs back to my number 2 so fast. But,
number 2.
Okay, last podcast. Spoilers if you haven't watched it. Pause the video. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Tell us a comment. We've prompted you a million times. You need to go load the other video up anyway to tell us your top 5 favorite Marvel heroes. So
this is your official call to action. Move along.
Yeah. I grew up. Spider-Man was my favorite hero. One of the two. Batman being the other. There's not a better or cooler interpretation of the evil Spider-Man than Venom.
That's an uncontroversial statement. That's just true.
It just is. He's made of goo.
That's good.
He's so mad. Like, can you imagine the person in your life that you pissed off the most, whether intentionally or unintentionally? The person who hates you the most has goo powers now. And,
important, has teamed up with your bitter, jealous ex-lover who is like full-on yandere for you.
And he's into it.
And yeah, the guy you pissed off, pretty much down. Let's go, I don't know, maybe kill, maybe forcibly have sex with Spider-Man. We haven't made up our minds yet.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
It's just he's got big villain energy.
He's so good.
And it makes sense because usually he's Spider-Man's bane. He's the guy who when Venom shows up and shit is real now. Like, that's a problem.
Yeah, because he's so good. Unless you happen to have sonic guns, which were a weirdly common thing in the cartoon, or fire, which is more common, but swing away.
Or Big Loud Bell. To be fair.
Big Loud Bell. Yes, that's the classic. Spider-Man. Thank God for all these New York churches. I suppose. I've liked Venom also as a heroic character, but I like him as a villain more.
I like him as an anti-hero, yeah.
Anti-hero, yeah. Anti-Venom specifically, that version of Eddie Brock with a symbiote. Very interesting, cool take on things. What a fun way to just develop
keep things fresh.
Further. Yeah.
You can keep things fresh and continue to develop stories and develop characters. You don't have to arbitrarily reboot things in some sort of weird teenage wish fulfillment, you 45-year-old man.
As much as saying that, though, I do have to mention it's Eddie Brock. The other Venoms, they're not as good. Now, I don't mean that about the other symbiotes. They're fine. Mac Gargan, stay Scorpion.
Well, he basically did.
Eddie Brock's a dude for me. He's like, what if Sabretooth was sticky?
Yeah, it's important that Eddie Brock be built like a fucking house of bricks, by the way, just so we're clear. I'm not someone who hates on Topher Grace's portrayal of the character. I think he got the emotional core right. But it is in fact important that Eddie Brock look like he, I don't know, swallowed a truck.
Or could.
Yeah.
He's a sad, broken man. And I love those comics that went into Venom, and you see a little bit of this in the movie, but he's more of a heroic character, so it's a bit different. But the comics that go into Venom, living his daily fucking life and going, God damn it, that would be me if it weren't for Peter fucking Parker. And just how much that eats at him, and how much he just lifts weights thinking about punching Peter in the dick.
And honestly, I do like the Venom movie, and I think I'll like the sequel more. But that, for me, is a big part of why they are not 100% working. He's missing the emotional core.
Yeah.
Eddie Brock in those movies is missing the emotional core of Eddie Brock, which is a burning hate boner for fucking Spider-Man.
Well, it's kind of beautiful, too, because, think of it as a what if. What if somehow Eddie Brock got the symbiote and Spider-Man was never involved? I don't know, he probably wouldn't be a villain.
He'd probably be, kind of a douchey bachelor.
And that's all
the internet has decided is in a romantic relationship with Venom.
I've heard how they talk to each other.
Look, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying the internet is the one who decided it.
And he eventually becomes, anti-heroic, but he tries to do the right thing. They try to do the right thing.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Wow, we're on honorable mentions now, man. Why don't you take it away?
All right. My honorable mentions are pretty short for the same reason my honorable mentions in the hero list were short, because I realized I would just list every character. So I stopped myself with just the big hits. We're starting off with Storm and Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, the Iron Patriot. He's just... He's the other half of Lex Luthor. But also, sometimes, he throws pumpkin bombs. What a fucking gimmick to choose. Baron Zemo, this is specifically the MCU version. The comics version is fine. He's fine. But the MCU Zemo that's good. That is adaptation, distillation at its finest. Loki, for all the reasons you mentioned, he's a good villain. Taskmaster, honestly, I just kind of like Tasky as like a incidental character, not even necessarily as the villain. He's a really good villain, very threatening for the tier of character he tends to fight, which can go pretty high. He fights Avengers. But like, I don't know, I just kind of like Taskmaster as like a put upon, as someone Deadpool shows up and like bothers. So he didn't get on the list because it's not because he's a villain. It's because he's the straight man in a comedy act. And then the Mandarin, because fucking 10 bling rings of magic power are cool as fuck.
I like most of those characters. All of them, honestly. I like Baron Zemo in the MCU. My honorable mentions are Carnage, because I grew up in the 90s. He goes more places with his symbiote than Venom does.
He's also much murderier.
Yeah, way more into murder. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but I'm kind of digging Scream, the yellow one.
I don't remember.
She wasn't actually named in the comics, I think. It was later that she got popular, and I don't know, like, I feel like maybe looking back and like revisiting all those millions of symbiotes they created in the 90s, maybe they were cool.
I mean, they probably were.
Yeah.
They were probably covered in 90s, but otherwise...
Yeah. Cool. Just fucking sunglasses down, Liefeld muscles up.
Pupils gone, feet weird.
Off panel.
Hidden by fog.
Taskmaster, for all the reasons you said, and also, like you said, he will fuck you up.
Yeah, he's a very threatening villain, but that's not when I enjoy him. I enjoy him when he's being harassed.
I like him. I'm looking forward to him in the MCU. Kind of hoping they don't kill him off, but who knows. Hey, Batroc got his big comeback, so...
Batroc, isn't he bad?
Batroc could probably be on this honorable mention list. I just think Taskmaster's kind of cool. Yeah,
he's very cool.
He's got all those mimicky, I've watched your moves kind of shit. That's cool. And he keeps trying to start mercenary armies and shit. I don't know. I just want good things for him,
That's why I like it when he's being harassed.
Yeah. And Typhoid Mary, who it was a long, hard decision whether Typhoid Mary or Black Mariah was on the list. I haven't finished the Netflix show. I don't think that's going to be that great. But like the actual character in comics...
I'm not going to give you spoilers. You're not going to be happy.
I'm sure I'm not. Listener, say what you will about the accuracy or inaccuracy of a portrayal of somebody with dissociative identity disorder. Let's put that on the shelf for just a second.
And talk comics. And talk, like, taking the material as it is.
What an awesome combination of character traits in one person. And, like, how interesting to listen to those struggles. You're a good person and also a fucking monster. And there's, like, a third one that I'm not as interested in. But, like, and she's got an amazing look. And what a great foil for Daredevil.
Yeah.
Like, just, it's so...
Great foil for his Catholic ass, I'm gonna be honest.
100%. I've always loved her way more than Elektra. Elektra can get fucked.
Yeah, Elektra's too hyped. Like, hype backlashes hit her, sorry.
Yeah, well, and even before, she was just a cool ninja. Like...
Nah, she's a ninja.
Alright. Is it your number one?
I believe I'm
number
first.
one.
Right. And then we'll end on you. My number one, my favorite villain in Marvel, because, I mean, who else could it be? But Doom! Dr. Victor Von Doom! And I didn't add the word fucking in there because he wouldn't want me to say my name properly. You say Doom's name correctly. I love the pomp, the circumstance, circumstance. The cape, the green. He's a green guy in a metal. He's Green Iron Man, but evil with wizard powers. What's not to love? It's like someone made me a comic character. It's just, all of it is so good. I love that he runs his own country and it's a communist utopia because fuck you, I have super science. I love that he has magic Iron Man metal armor that runs on super science and magic, and I love genuinely that he takes the time to dress like a fucking pimp, because he is a ruler, he is a king, he is Doom, and you will respect his authority. And crucially, much like Ultron, I love that he's right. Because in comics, canonically, he is. Doom believes that humanity is doomed unless he takes over. The only timeline where humanity does not destroy itself is the one where Victor Von Doom rules with an iron fist. And in that timeline, there is no hunger, and there is no war, and humanity soars unto the stars in a peaceful empire of glory. It just also happens to be Doom's glory. And literally, the Panther goddess Bast has looked into his soul, his spirit, and determined that he believes this so truthfully, so utterly, that he's right. That he's not, he genuinely believes he is doing the right thing. Every evil thing he undertakes, every evil plan he is the mastermind of, is all to try and save the world. He's trying to save humanity from itself if they would only listen to the wisdom that is Doom. Combined with the fact that a large part of it is just because he's super mad at his college roommate. I love that so much! And an absolute simp for his college roommate's wife.
Dr. Doom is somebody... I'm not a Fantastic Four fan. I've seen some of their stuff. I've never really gotten into them. The only one I really like is Ben. But even from far away, seeing Doom, I got to point and go, that guy looks pretty cool. I hope there's a Fantastic Four thing that's worth my fucking time in the future, so that I may enjoy Doom.
And no version of the Fantastic Four has done him even the remotest sliver of justice. The other characters, sometimes they do okay. But Doom is always just... fucking... No! You don't get it! Fucking... Stop! Damn it! Let him be cool! It is my one comics bugbear left is to see a good live action version of Doctor Doom.
Hope springs eternal.
Someone who can look at a camera in live action and go, "You will treat Doom," and say it in all caps because you can hear it every time with respect, and it sounds right and it sounds earned, and I want it so bad.
I hope that future comes for you.
Who's your number one?
My number one is, like, basically, what if Doom were a little less ambitious and a lot more weird?
Yeah.
My number one is Starman Norman Osborn. Of course, it's a Spider-Man villain. I wasn't into Avengers growing up. I didn't get into that shit until, I don't know, I was in my 20s. I mean, like, tangentially, sure, but not, like, really. And, like, even when I was a kid, there were other Spider-Man villains that I was more into. But as I've aged, I want to see none of them succeed more than Norman Osborn.
Which is weird, because of most of the Spider-Man villains, there are only a couple who are more complete, unrepentant fucking monsters than Norman Osborn.
Even when he gets defeated, I'm just like, well, you did a good job while you were there, champ. We'll see you next time. But, like, I love also, I mean, this goes into what I was just saying about Typhoid Mary. I love his Norman versus the Goblin. I love how he decided to throw fucking pumpkin bombs and shit.
Like pumpkins. What?
Fucking Pooh ascending off to Dreamland.
Oh, it's right there. I mean,
I love the gimmick. I love the look. I love the original storyline with Spider-Man. I love what he's done outside of that. I love the Iron Patriot. I love that it is completely plausible that Norman Osborn hoodwinked the entirety of America into thinking he was great.
yeah, I love the downfall of that was them pulling the full-on, like, Batman Returns, I played this stinking city like a harp from hell, and getting him on tape talking about how, well, basically that whole speech.
And I also love how he's recovered from that by going, "Come on!"
And then all of the Marvel civilians went, "Come on!" in return. Because all of them are Norman Osborn.
Just, like, I don't... He's the reedy Lex Luthor. But again, instead of a weird big green and purple power suit that looks fucking stupid, he went for a small, lithe, green and purple goblin costume.
With a weird glider and pumpkin bombs. He's just got more style,
Just
more flair.
1,000%.
And they're very similar characters, him and Luthor. Big, important businessman who does science and wears a green and purple evil suit to fight a superhero. But the difference is Luthor's smug and Norman is desperate.
Yeah, I love the mundane character moments with Norman where he's just clearly fucking unhinged. Like, to the point that sometimes in comics people react to him like, "Fuck, are you okay, man?"
Like, even regular people will hear him say something seemingly normal and react on panel like, because it's clearly said with, like, basically, if you imagine everything that has ever been written for Norman Osborn said by Willem Dafoe, you've pretty much nailed it.
I don't know how you can cast a different guy as Norman. I don't know.
Well, apparently the new Spider-Man movie decided neither do they. Because they just brought all the old villains back. Fuck it, we're not recasting anyone. Everybody liked J.K. Simmons, so we're bringing everybody.
I mean, hey, I'll take it. Put that boy on the glider again for me. Put him in a proper goblin outfit. I like the cool...
I love that.
Yeah, it's good.
People hated it. I loved it.
It's fine. I saw like a preliminary test one though that looked really great that they didn't go with because of studio shit. I recall.
It's a big Beetleborg costume, and you gotta love that.
It's fine. It's it's cool. I liked it. Nothing bad to say about it. I would like other things better.
I mean, yeah, just fucking do it with the goblin costume.
Yeah.
With the weird latex outfit.
Yeah.
And the mask and the hat and the little shorts. The shorts are important. The shorts and the little baby shoes for no reason.
He's like so many villains I love wrapped up into one. I mean, no, take me for what I mean, not for what I'm saying. He's your unproblematic Joker.
He's Mr. Hyde and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, he's like, but I like the theming and I like the dedication to the theme. He's like, I'm gonna shoot bat rockets at Spider-Man
from my bat glider and pumpkin bombs. I'm kind of Halloween themed, I guess. What are your colors? Purple and green.
Why any of this? I decided it one day.
I decided it one day is the only reason Norman Osborn has ever done a thing in his whole goddamn life.
Oh, he's just so good. He's just so good. And then you fold back to Iron Patriot and like he's so good that he's got so many supervillain imitators and descendants.
He's so good that they made a heroic version of him and put it in the MCU because they like that look so much.
It's such a crisp look. He's so fucking evil. He's the worst and the best. I have realized now in this podcast why I don't like the Joker as much as I used to. And yes, a lot of it is society, the one that we live in, bottom text. But it's also because there's a better one. And it's Stormin' Norman, and he's got a glider. Does the Joker have a glider? No.
Everything's better when nerds talk about it.